Over 200 film bliver vist på årets Copenhagen DOX-filmfestival. Nogle korte, andre lange. Flere er spækket med fakta, der leveres i interviews, grafik og voiceover, og andre har en mere ukonventionel tilgang til tingene. Sådan en film er 69 Minutes of 86 Days, som simpelthen er et mindre mesterværk. Flere af filmene på årets dokumentarfestival tager forståeligt nok hånd om den aktuelle borgerkrig i Syrien og dens grufulde konsekvenser. Men 69 Minutes har en helt enestående indfaldsvinkel til krisen. I stedet for at følge politikere, soldater eller journalister, så er omdrejningspunktet en blot 3-årig pige, Lian, som sammen med sin familie vandrer hele vejen fra de græske flygtningelejre til bedstefaren i Sverige. Og der er ingen fortællerstemme, ingen tekst og ingen fortællermæssige drejninger, som vi kender dem fra både fiktion og faktafilm. Vi forbliver i øjenhøjde med Lian, og ved netop at frasortere al politik og polemik, så får vi et så umiddelbart og ufortyndet portræt af krigens menneskelige følger, at filmen går direkte i hjertet. Vi mødte forleden filmens norske instruktør, Egil Håskjold Larsen, til en snak om hans fænomenale debutfilm.
Of course, this is your debut feature. And on paper, it sounds like a daunting debut feature, you know, to make a movie about Syria. So why the subject as your debut? Why was this so important to you?
The subject came at the time where there was a lot of pressure, like a lot of news articles, a lot of focus on what was going on in Syria and what was going on in Europe, with the refugee crisis really coming up in mid-2015. And we talked a lot about, me and my wife, that the main focus was really always negative. There was so much negative information coming out about people, about the situation, about the political aspect. I felt that there was room for a film that didn't focus so much on those political aspects, on the crisis and the horror stories and all these things. So we wanted to try to take away as much of these aspects as we could. And for me, the child was the perfect narrator for this type of story, because they have this open-mindedness and they have this clean, unshaped mentality towards everything they meet. And I think we as adults can learn something from this child's perspective, because they don't take into account all the details about religion or culture or the differences between people. They have a really open-minded and almost naive approach to everything they meet.
But then how did you find her, Lian?
Yeah, we went to Kos, one of the main islands for the refugees coming from Turkey. We kind of found her among the crowd. She happened to be a really nice character. She stood out from the crowd, and she was very open and very, natural. She immediately started to play with us, and we have a really nice interaction immediately, like from the first minute almost that we met her. And we immediately got really good friends with the family. So, and I kind of established that distance also, that I was going to film them, and they shouldn't care too much about me. And since we didn't have so much verbal interaction, I became that guy who was following them all the time, basically.
But I mean, after so many weeks, you must have gotten really close to them. And I was actually wondering, do you still have any sort of contact with the family also in Lian?
Yeah, we were in Uppsala, where they are living now, to show them the film a couple of weeks ago.
How was the response?
Yeah, it was good. I think they liked it, but it was interesting. Lian was watching like half of the film, and then she found some crayons out in the hallway, so she went to make some drawings instead. So yeah, it was interesting to see her reaction. But now she's 4 years old, and she's going into kindergarten, and she's learning quite a lot of Swedish. She's actually the best of the family speaking Swedish now. Wow. So yeah, the mother was talking about that it was a little bit embarrassing that her child now spoke a language that they didn't understand. Okay.
But also, I'd love to ask a little bit about the sound design and the music of the film, which I thought was so well done. Also because in a movie like this, where we don't have the voiceover, we don't have the conventional narrative, the sound design and the music play such a huge part, I guess, in conveying the story and the emotions of the film. So what was your approach to the sound and the music?
Yeah, I got this collaboration with Alexander Dudarev, which is the sound designer for this film. Alexander had this amazing ability to keep realistic but still quite detailed and extraordinary soundscape. So it was like he was mixing a lot of Foley sound with the original sound that was recorded from the camera microphone, which was basically 90% of the sound that we brought with us from the trip. Mm-hmm. We were experimenting quite a lot with that, trying to increase that feeling of experiencing the sound as from a child's perspective. Not necessarily maybe the child's way of experiencing sound, but maybe this feeling that there is a personal feeling of the soundscape, so that when she was tired, maybe we tried to make the sound a little bit more dense. When things were more light, the sound was more open. We tried to keep to both use the sound design and this mentality of the long take as aspects of feeling presence, like experiencing the time one-to-one with this little girl.
You talk a little bit about how you felt that we adults, of course, we can learn from the perspective of a child and their open viewpoint, but what do you sort of hope as a filmmaker that viewers in Norway, in Copenhagen, everywhere, take out of this film and take with them?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's, at these times, it's really, there's a lot of films coming out that is treating this issue in a lot of different ways. There's a lot of important films coming on this topic. But I hope this film can be a little bit of a reminder that we shouldn't forget that we are still humans and we are still like people. And for me, it's really hard not to love Lian when you see the film. But I have that idea that she is like she's representing something that every person in the world has. Like everyone has a quality, everyone has something good in them. Of course there are bad people and good people everywhere, but if you get to know people, you get also to know their character. And for me it was interesting to get to know Lian. She is a wonderful person and her family is wonderful, but she's just an example of millions of people everywhere in the world that could be just like Lian if we just get to know them.
Husk, at 69 Minutes of 86 Days kan opleves søndag den 26. marts kl. 21:30 i Park Bio. Og vi vender snart tilbage med endnu flere godter fra årets Copenhagen DOX.